Welcome to Hearthcenter, your Tuesday night show bringing you the highlights of the last week of THL. I'm one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am joined by quite the crew here. To my left, we have Super Chicken. Chicken, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
And below Chicken, the one and only Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Very, very excited to be here.
And finally, below me, we have Bone Masher. Bone Masher's special host of Sidebar joining us tonight for Hearthcenter. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, Lucas.
It's always great having you all. We have such a good show. We are with a new setup because I changed my computer and it lost all my settings because Windows to Mac conversion is awful. So I hope you all enjoyed the new setup. If there are any issues, anything that looks weird, any mistakes, please let us know. This is work in progress, so we'll have it much better by the end of the season. But with that out of the way, everyone ready to begin?
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to start with Player of the Week. And I'm going to ask Azalea, who is our hero Player of the Week?
I believe our hero player of the week is going to be Jim Philos, as far as I know.
Yep.
And I'll have to go find the write-up quickly. Let's see. All right, so the ever-present, always Jim Philos took down a much-needed Game 5 on Hunter against Odin to secure a win in a hard-fought match, helping 22 Diamonds version take a close week win over their opponent. And congratulations on Player of the Week in that write-up.
Nice. Thank you. And congratulations, Jim Philos, for getting Player of the Week. Second, I'm going to ask Bone Masher here if you can read our legacy Player of the Week.
All right, our legacy player of the week is Ron Mexico. Needing a win to complete the comeback for Amberflight Gaming, Ron Mexico stepped up huge without his beloved Hunter class to take a 3-2 victory and keep Amberflight Gaming well in contention within Red Conference with a Game 5 rogue win over Demon Hunter. And that nomination comes from Azalea Akari.
Nice. Congratulations, Ron Mexico, who's streaming right now. So I hope he ends the stream right now to just come watch his Player of the Week nom. But congratulations, Ron, on your legacy Player of the Week. Finally, Chicken, can you tell us our Pro Player of the Week?
Yeah, for sure. Our pro player of the week is Memnarch. Wait. Oh, okay. Someone needs to send me the player of the week.
Do you need the write-up?
It's in general.
Yeah, I don't have
it's in
access to
general.
that. Oh, okay. Our pro player of the week is Sick Lad. Playing last in a winner-takes-all match, Sick Lad found himself down 0-2. He pulled the game back with Blood Death Knight before winning the unfavorable for a 3-2 reverse sweep. The win takes him to a 3-0 record in his rookie season and keeps APM undefeated on the season. So congrats to Sick Lad, and thanks to our very own Bone Masher for the submission.
Nice. Congratulations to our Players of the Week. And if you want to be our Player of the Week next week, I guess just keep winning. That's the usual strategy. At some point, you might get it unless you're Rebob. So,
Unless you're Rebob.
With that out of the way, shall we start going into Hero Series? There's so much fun Hero stuff to talk about.
Yeah, let's take a look.
All right. So, our first match that we're going to talk about is actually the Dr. Boom's Puzzlers facing Dad Legend. And I want to ask Super Chicken if you want to tell us about this one.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to come up on stream. Okay, there it is. Yeah, this was an incredibly close match between two pretty solid teams. I think the Puzzlers started off the season 1-0, and they've fallen 2 weeks since then. But they've been doing pretty well overall. I expected the Puzzlers to be doing a little bit better than they are right now, but losing a match 12-3 is just pretty tough. Like, or sorry, 12-13.
This is
But
just
yeah,
so
Bad
close.
Legend's been on a pretty good tear this season so far, and looks like they just were able to eke out the win.
Mm-hmm.
The Puzzlers made it quite close, getting a 3-1 and 3-0 win on their side. But yeah, just missing a couple 2-3 losses from Jespin and Righteous Dammies to take the win 14-3. But they're still doing pretty well in terms of points per week. Sitting at around, what is that, about 14 points per week ish, just over that, I guess. So they're not in too bad of a spot for now. Like probably a pretty good amount of points you can have for having 2 weak losses.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as for Dad Legend, just another strong showing from them. I mean, I guess a little bit low in terms of points for a win, but a win is you're still winning and you're still getting 16 points, which is better than most teams. So certainly something to be
Yeah.
happy about.
For sure. Bone Masher, anything you want to tell us about this match?
Yeah, I was just looking at the class distribution. We've got 4 paladins on one side and no paladins on the other side, and then we've got 4 warriors on that side and no warriors on the other side, and we've got 3 priests on the left and no priests on the right. So definitely some different strategies brought from the different teams, maybe targeting different things or different thoughts about what the best hero lineup is, which is usually a little odd in LHS. Usually there's some clear brings with sweep decks or something like that, but definitely interesting with it being so different between the two teams.
I think something to add here is we had nerfs last week, and the meta is still, I would honestly say, quite unstable, and I think this definitely looks into it.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Azalea, I'll ask you about our next match because I think it's a good opportunity to again see a lot of classes represented. Why don't you tell us about the F12 Black facing 22 Diamonds version?
Yeah, so this was a very close match. I don't know if I was the first match this week. I believe the first match was Rebob taking on Neji on like Tuesday. And that's why even there's surprisingly no warrior brought, despite the warrior nerfs not even having come in yet. And Rebob took a 3-1. Next match, I want to say, was me versus Jim Philos, which he took in 5, our player of the week. And after that, Copa took a 3-1. Then Tab took a 3-2, and it landed on Seth for the final match. And he was unable to get the 2 points to tie the week. So Super Chicken getting the 3-1, taking a decisive week win. So also shout outs to you for getting that done. For sure, my friend. It was a pretty interesting match overall. The class distribution, a lot of Paladin from us, 5 warriors, 10 warriors across the board. Rogue kind of scattered, but just a variety of classes.
Yeah, it definitely felt a bit weird for me. And I was like, I knew at least for my series, a lot of it was going to come down to whichever mage was going to lose. I felt like my mage had a pretty good chance into his lineup, but yeah, like I think the fact that I won the mage mirror in my match with Seth just kind of like meant that I'd have a much easier time winning the series, especially because he brought in Rage Warrior to beat my mage, like to give himself a better chance against it. It just kind of meant like my priest was like super favored into the rest of his lineup, and he didn't have too much of a chance there. So Yeah, and the mirror was pretty interesting. I think I was the first one to kind of like start popping off, but it was very back and forth. Like both of us kind of had like pop off turns into like
Yeah.
being able to get the board clear mech out on the same turn.
Yeah.
But we both kind of had answers initially, and then both like were kind of digging for like kind of the second like OTK pop off. And I was just able to get to that a bit quicker. But
Oh yeah.
God, I was like,
Yeah, there was a little bit of oopsies because he was on mobile.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's also the Druid game where he played a classic solar coin.
Solar instead of innervate. So he didn't get his fully juice drum on 5. Is what he did.
Well,
Yeah, that was tough.
But in general he rolled over. I think he meant to he didn't want to bring the hunter. But so like that's the thing. It's like, make sure you're bringing the classes you want to bring. Remember to submit every week.
Yeah,
but obviously,
to be fair, like I actually don't think Hunter should be like. I think like people overreacted a little bit with cutting Hunter.
Yeah.
So much, like myself included, because Arcane Hunter hasn't really changed at all, except for like the legendary is like a 4-mana 4/4 now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So that it was.
I had it in one of my matches. Didn't win, but I had it. But yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. I agree. I think a little overreaction. I just think he wanted to submit other classes in general. But yeah. It was a really close match, and I look at both of our teams, and I think that we have a very good chance at keeping it up and making playoffs.
I want to ask here if Bone Masher has any comments they want to share about this match. Anything else that we might have skipped over?
No, I think pretty much everything was covered. 10 warriors is where I was expecting it to be. Going back to the previous match, I was surprised there wasn't at least a single warrior bought by Dead Legend, but yeah,
right.
I think the two guys have covered it quite well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do the standings look like for Hero after this Bone Masher? What changed?
All right, let's have a look. Standings after round 3. We'll start with Teal Conference. At the top of Teal Conference, we have got 22, Diamonds version, 49 points with a 2-1 record. Always Playoff Mode, 48 points with a 2-1 record. The Harvard of the Northeast, 44 points with a 2-1 record. Dr. Boom's Puzzlers, 43 points with a 1-2 record. And the Gas Leak inside the Starbucks on 36 points with a 1-2 record. All teams pretty much still in the hunt early on and very close. And in Purple Conference, we've got Dead Legend, the only 3-0 team, at 53 points. F2L Black, 45 points with a 1-2 record, but a lot of points. A Premium Membership, 41 points, also with a 1-2 record. Then we've got a 2-1 team on 40 points, Department of League Administration. And rounding out the Purple Conference, we've got his name is actually Jonas with an 0-3 record on 25 points. Probably the only team looking a little unlikely at this stage of the season, but there's still time.
Yeah. F2L Black and APM were tied to start the week. Seth started us off strong with a win yesterday.
That's true, yeah. 41
But yeah, I mean, this is like one of the first times I vaguely remember in the beginning of the season, 2 teams with worse team records below a team with a better team record, even though it's just 1 point.
I did have a pro team make playoffs with a 2-5 record, and there was a 5-2 record team that missed in the other conference.
Well,
I'm sure Chicken Pro. I'm sure some people here remember that. I didn't keep up with Pro for that long.
It's about a year ago, I think. Yeah. But yeah, it can happen. Like if you pick up your
Yep.
points, like you have a good win, like a 5-0, like you can still pick up a lot of points in a 2-3. You know,
That's true.
you just gotta make sure you pick up your points every week, even if you're not going to get the win. Pick up your 2 wins if you can, get some points.
Yes.
Get your 2 wins in your 2-3 loss if you can't quite get there on the third game on the game 5, but they all count.
For sure. Any final thoughts on Hero that anyone wants to share before we move on to Legacy? All right, so let's move into Legacy, where Chicken is going to tell us about the Big W roster facing the Valorant refugees.
Yeah, we had another pretty close match this time in Legacy with Big W roster taking it over the Valorant refugees. Nice for the Michigan players to get their first win of the season, and doing it with their top 3 seeds getting wins for the team. But even on the Valorant refugees side, it's still a pretty high point loss. But now that we're 3 weeks in, I would say the Valorant refugees pretty much need to win every single week from here on out. Or honestly, both of these teams do, for the most part. Like, Big W did get a win this week, but they still only sit at 32 points. So both of these teams really need to pick up the slack a bit if they're gonna want to make playoffs. Especially I'd say not to like pick on people or anything, but there are 2 people on each of these teams that are 0-3. Maybe we stop bringing Paladin guys. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working.
Hey, it's a trend. It's a trend. Don't worry.
Also, there are Death Knights on the Michigan side.
Yes.
I guess it's unholy, but
Probably.
that would be my guess. But yeah, that's also a bit odd to me because they're like, I don't know. There's other decks that can play for tempo that are just better.
Yeah. I wonder. One of the matches, I would imagine it could be a blood potentially, but
Or a
Okay,
Plague.
Certainly possible.
Maybe it's Plague.
Could also
Maybe.
be Plague Death Knight. That is true.
yeah, I mean,
It did get buffed a little bit
I
with
don't.
the somewhat recent patch. So
And it's
It's
not really a
possible.
deck, but maybe it beats Control. I don't actually.
it was even okay when Warrior first came around. It was even with it. I don't know what it says now. I haven't checked the stats.
yeah, it's not.
But I don't
great.
believe in that. But anyways, enough about what decks I believe in.
So, anything else anyone wants to talk about this match before I move to our second match of the night for Legacy?
I'm happy to see Silver T Fox back, and seeing Medusis and Sanguine also back playing. Yeah, Silver Fox was one. T Fox was one of my first THL opponents.
Nice.
Yeah.
They've been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
So, with this out of the way, let's move to our second match. Azalea and Bone Master. I'll give Bone Master the first thought of this one. Bone Master, tell us about a perfect mulligan facing Amber Flight Gaming.
Yes. So we've got Amplify Gaming Perfect Mulligan. My team here, Hockey Boys had a nice little 3-0 in the 1 seed over Neji. He quite enjoyed that. I don't think Neji quite enjoyed it as much. Ron squeezed out a 3-2 over Stinzy. Copa picked up a sort of a revenge win over Buzosaurus after having lost to him in Hero Series. Azalea had a 2-3 with Lamp getting the game 5 there, and Charab had a nice sweep over Chewbacca in the 5 seed. So yeah, a couple of close ones that sort of decided the week there. A couple of blowouts at the top and the bottom, but yeah, I think probably could have gone either way. I think there was some really close games there, from what I was reading in the Discord, where it looked like the games could have gone either way, and we just didn't quite get there this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably should have been swept by Lamp. I had the 2 games I won. I came back from pretty rough situations. In general, like I think like game 3, I was having a rough one with Mech Mage. I did have a big minion, but he had enough taunt. He just had the taunts up on the field with Druid, and I managed to pull an Innie to essentially swing the game completely back and to swing what would have been swinging it back completely in my favor, which led to a concede. But yeah, Lamp played really well, and got a little fortune with the Druid draws. I mean, you always need you need skill and you need a little bit of luck every time to really pull out games in THL, and I felt like it was a great match. Yeah, I think the week started. We were down. Week started and our team was down 8-2 after the first ones with Lamp and Hockey winning, and then things just kind of clawed back for us. One by one, and obviously it came down to Ron, and it came down to Ron versus Stinzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was close. I think
very close. When Ron was a bit worried because his rogue had to play
Stinzy
in his
Stinzy had the I think Ron full kept. Stinzy had cleared the board, but then Ron top decked gear shift and found another go. When with an empty hand, he top decked gear shift and refilled and ended up getting there. So
yeah, in Mech Rogue when that happens can just do ridiculous things.
Yep.
For sure.
So, I want to ask Chicken if he has anything he wants to say about this match.
Mostly just that I think AFG is sort of starting to pick their season up a little bit. I think I don't know. Maybe they just had an off week against us, but it felt like the week they played against my team was fairly one-sided. But they are starting to pick up some more wins here.
Yeah.
Ron maybe getting back to 550 PR this season.
He is. He's back there now after this.
Oh, is he after this? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He'll be back below it shortly.
He was 548. He was 548, and he won this week. Notably, I've dropped below 200 in both series, which is
nice.
which is not ideal, but.
what are you doing next season?
I don't know.
It's a PR managing season.
Yep.
I need to win. No, I need to win to make myself feel better. Trying to get my teams to playoffs, and I'm losing every game.
Who cares about playoffs?
Yeah.
Yep.
And by the way, and Chicken mentioning Paladin, I did not win on Hunter in my match versus my Paladin got through. Crusader Aura is a good card.
Fair.
That it is.
Especially if you're playing 4 and they haven't cleared your minions. So that helps.
Yeah, I did that in a match and I lost, probably because of it. Because I instantly got punished for playing into a hidden meaning, but that's besides the point. It was a very good week, and I think it could have gone either way between the teams. Honestly, I always have a blast. Like I have a blast playing against when our teams get to go against each other between Masher and Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these teams do seem pretty evenly matched, and I think it certainly could potentially be a playoff matchup we see a few weeks from now. So
yeah,
keep on the lookout for that.
Definitely.
For sure.
We gotta pick up some good points to kind of catch up, but we can get there.
Speaking of catching up, Azalea, can you tell us what the standings for Legacy are looking like?
Absolutely. So in gold, I'll start with Gold Conference. We have an undefeated team in Gold. We have the Stubbs with 54 points and a 20.71 PPR or points per week, followed by F12 White at 2-1 with 15 points a week. Got the Fives at 47 with 21. 2-1 record. I'm never gonna know how to say Geranium's APM team at 37 points with 1-2 record. Titans of average size at 35 points with a 2-1 record. Justin makes me feel good at 33 points and an 0-3 record. And Big W roster at 32 points with a 1-2 record. And then over in the Red Conference, it's led by character limit exceeded with 62 points. That is a lot of points. 3-0 record. Somehow it says less points per week than the subs, which is a bit interesting, but
Who's making these numbers?
But we got STD following them, Standard THL Degenerates at 51 points, a 2-0-1 record. We mentioned it, but there was a week between STD and Dad Legend. Dad in third place in red at a 1-1-1 record with 47 points, followed up by Amberflight Gaming with 42 points at a 2-1 record. A perfect mulligan, 40 points, 1-2 record. And then sitting at the bottom of red is Valorant Refugees at 28 points, 0-3 record, and ET Cthulhu, 24 points and a 0-3 record. So yeah, I mean the top. I mean, check. Pretty close in both conferences. The middle's kind of clumped with two teams sticking out in both conferences.
For sure. Still a lot to talk about as we move to other conferences, but before we do, I want to bring us to our main screen for our commercial read. And today I want to ask our guest, Bone Masher, if he would do us the honors of getting the commercial out of the show notes and reading it for us.
All right. Show notes, there we go. All right. Yo. Hey there, Twitch spewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables our team to help cover the costs of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime/Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribable dribblers will get a THL emoticon as well as the amazing THL chat badge. So hit that thumbs up, 7-up button and keep the lights on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Spectral note to our viewers, check out THL's other spectral media points of interest. Website, teamhearthleague.com. Catch us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth League. The true Hearth legend Saku continues to post all our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fans out there are THL shows every single most days of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some Hearthstone-related content. Now back to the good part.
Ka-chow. So, thank you, Bone Masher, for that great read. The commercial was still understandable, but we're gonna get there pretty soon.
Getting worse.
Next
It
week.
needs more corruption.
Yep.
We'll get there.
It's early
I
season.
can always promise to get worse.
No, I can promise it will get worse someday.
It gets worse pretty fast, so stay tuned for next week, where usually it's about where the point where no one can understand it anymore, but we'll see what happens. With this all done, shall we go on to talk about Pro?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's take a look.
All right, so let's go to Pro, where Bone Masher is going to tell us about our first match, which is CMU versus the aggressively proud Mages.
All right, the other APM team, is that Leah's team? Okay, so we had a 3-0 win for Parawox over Pyrolama in the 1. We had Lowbrow Low Ladder picking up a win in the 3-2 over Wild 9, last year's MVP. His first loss of the season. Memnarch got the 3-1 in the 3 seed over Harmless Dog. Random Dude with a 3-0 over Walkerman, and a 3-1 win to Captain Not Amity over Ring 13 in the 5 seed. So Azalea will probably tell us the order of matches here, but picking up the wins up in the top seeds, but not quite getting the enough points out of the bottom 3 there. I can see 2 Totem Shamans in there as well. One of them won.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen Shaman all night until now.
Yeah, I look, I'm gonna try and piece this together.
Go for it.
I can't really tell. I don't know who was last. Very bad of me to not know. I think it came down to a Harmless Dog. It had to have, because they scheduled for 7 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, and I think everyone else played before. Yeah. So, Parawax started off with the win. Then it went to Lowbrow, and then I guess, I don't know. Oh, the last match was Ring. I got my weeks mixed up. Ring was the last match, and Para with a good bounce back from last week after having an unfortunate situation come up, getting to swiftly come back, take a win. Unfortunately rough for our bottom 3 seeds, but they'll bounce back, and we'll get some good wins and hopefully keep up track with Sugoi, and we'll get there.
Fair. Chicken, anything you want to tell us about this match?
Yeah, I would say this result is not too surprising, considering, we do have the reigning pro MVP on one side, and the team that also just made the finals and narrowly lost to a very, very strong Brushy Tuna team.
Mm-hmm.
CMU seems to be still rolling pretty well, from carrying over from last season, and most of the players are off to a pretty good start. So they're certainly one of the teams to look out for, and APM isn't too far behind. Certainly some ground to make up, but I do think they can cover that ground with a few good weeks.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, 10 points against the reigning runners-up is very, very good.
For sure. Now, let's take a look at our other match, where I'll ask Bone Masher and Azalea again to tell us what's going on with APM versus the Imposters.
All right, I'll read the matches all. The match is also Aussie Pro Mafia versus the Imposters. We had Derpager take a 3-1 win over Maxi Bond. We had Lemur take a 3-1 win over Oddlaw. Reverb took a 3-1 over Jespin. Master took a 3-0 win over the Toucher. And I know from the report that Sick Lad was the final match with a 3-2 reverse sweep over Direst Bear.
Nice. And Bone Masher, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I think Maxi's match was first in the week. He led off and seemed to have got targeted a bit, and got the 3-1 loss there. And then second up was Reverb, and the Reverb got the 3-1 over Jazz. He could have even been first. It may have been run the other way, but maybe Reverb. Reverb was first. He got the 3-1 over Jespin, and then Maxi lost 3-1, and then Oddlaw was third. His spread looked okay against Lima. But he couldn't quite get there. He lost the 3-1, and then we needed to win the last two. So I was up next. I thought I was probably maybe slightly favoured. I was expecting to go to game 5, and I managed to get 3 wins over Control Warrior, which was good. And yeah, they went to Sick Lad, and he was down 0-2, and it didn't look promising. But we were able to get the 3 wins over. Let me check. I think it might have been the Death Knight, but I'll.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's the Death Knight that didn't get through. Yeah, so 3-2 reverse sweep got us the week. It kept us on a 3-0 record, which is one of the best starts to the season I've had. I had a good team a couple of seasons ago, but it's a good start. This is I think we covered with the show at the beginning of the season. This is 4 of the same 5 that we had for our first season of Pro. When we had the All Aussie team last time, so the only change is Sick Lad's in there for Quake Lord. So Outlaws we returned to THL this season, and Reverb wasn't going to play. We had somebody else lined up to play in the team, and they pulled out at the last second. So Reverb switched across from Legacy into Pro. He was going to play Legacy, so yeah, he jumped across, and then that gave us 4 of the 5. So same team name as well, which different logos. So.
Nice.
I'm certainly having a lot of fun in the Discord, and Maxi and Sick Lad are pretty close friends. They sort of jumping on stream together all the time. So a bit of synergy, working together, and we'll see where we can go. Hopefully, with the start we've got, we should be looking at playoffs, and then it just comes down to how you go week in, week out after that.
For sure. Now,
Absolutely.
with all this in mind, Chicken, I want to ask you, what are the standings for Pro at the end of this week?
All right, so taking a look at the standings for Pro. Oh, okay, there we go. So taking a look at Black Conference first, at the top we have F2L at 59 points, Cheesemongers United at 52 points, Opportunistic Pro Players at 46 points, Brushy Tuna all the way down to 43 points, the Imposters in second last place with 38 points, and rounding out the Black Conference we have Remember the Titans at 20 points. Well, I would say all of these teams but one have a chance to make playoffs, and one of them is probably already pretty much eliminated. Not mathematically, of course. Every team could, or at least half the teams could lose all their matches for the rest of the season. But I did that. So better luck next season. Remember the Titans. And in Pink Conference, at the top we have Collegiate Player Retirement Home at 64 points, Aussie Pro Mafia at 61 points, Swagoy at 42, Aggressively Proud Mages at 36, Finn's Femboys at 31. Okay, I do love that team name. And AFG Pros rounding out the Pink Conference at 16 points. But yeah, it seems like Pink Conference is a little bit more lopsided than Black.
Yeah.
With, I guess, my team at 64, and then the EPM, the first EPM team there at 61, have already gotten quite a few points.
Like a full week ahead.
But yeah, Black Conference seems like a bit of a bloodbath, especially with Brushy Tuna at 1 and 2 to start the season. I don't think that's ever happened.
I think there was one season.
Really?
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like literally every season they've been at least 2 and 1.
I think we had one slow season at some point. It's been a while.
Yeah, this is.
It's been probably almost
crazy.
a year. Probably been like a year or more.
Yeah.
Based on how the team has been.
I will say there is a little bit to be said about the kind of, I guess, like, championship hangover effect, a little bit, where
Fair?
used to, I've definitely done this on some teams, or like you're not like posting to say, but it's like, I don't know, maybe you don't put in like 100% of the effort you did like the previous season.
That's fair.
And that certainly has happened to me on a season or two. So I think Brushy Tuna will pick it up as they always do. But
their schedule has been like, I know obviously week 1 was the MT, so they had 2 players sub in for Pocket and Banter. Then they won, and then like they played the other best team, like one of the other best teams, and the result, I must say, like, I was not expecting this result from your match. Looking at it, very surprising, but I think Brushy Tuna picks it up from here. I don't think this team's gonna let that stand. If I know all of you 5.
The good thing is they've got AFG this week, so if they can get back onto a good result out of that one, and then you've got the 3 teams above them, so they're taking wins off other teams on the run home if they can get on a run. So
yeah,
when you're facing
play us,
when you're facing, what's that?
I don't think they play us this season. I might be wrong.
Maybe they're not. Yeah, that's Rusty Tuna versus AFG week 4. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they play AFG, but not my. They don't play my APM team.
No. AFG. I said AFG.
Yeah, AFG, and then the teams above them, like the 3 teams above them.
No, the 3 teams above Brushy Tune.
Oh, I'm so silly.
The 3 teams above them. Yeah.
Against
OPP, Cheesemongers, and F12. So like when you're playing the teams that you're competing for the final spots, you can get a good win over them and deny them a lot of points. So I expect Brushy Tuna to be up probably in the top 2 spots by the end of the season.
So, to keep us around on time, I want to ask if there are any final points anyone wants to say in pro before we move on to our checkout question. Okay, so I'm bringing us back to our main screen for our checkout question of the night. And I'm going with a more normal one this week. My question is, we all saw basically at least Hound Hunter be murdered last week. And my question is, did it improve the meta? Is Hearthstone better now or not? What do you think? And I'm going to start with Bone Masher.
Better, maybe. It's definitely different. I'll go with different. I'm only playing pro and trios this season, so when I'm looking at what people are bringing and what the different options are for like bringing a lineup for pro and for trios being open list, there's definitely a lot of options. So I think at the moment it's still wide open. There's a lot of different options you can bring. I don't think the meta's really settled yet. But yeah, it's nice not to be facing Hunter all the time. We've had sort of Hunter being up there for the last probably 2.5 expansions. So having said that, Arcane Hunter's still pretty good. Yeah, you can still bring that. You can still face that.
Chicken, what are your thoughts?
To me, it felt like it didn't really change much. Felt like Arcane Hunter was already played way more, and the nerf to Arcane Hunter was basically like, it literally just got, the legendary got a 1 mana increase, but also got 1 attack. So a slight stat nerf, but not really a significant change. Maybe the card is a bit worse to keep in your mulligan now, since it was a really good mulligan keep before. So I guess they're trying to taper off the really strong mulligan openers from Arcane Hunter, which I think they've probably succeeded a bit in doing that. But yeah, killing big beast hunter when it was like objectively the worst deck into the meta seems really weird. I didn't really understand that at all. I mean, like, it was better into warrior and maybe priest.
Priest, yeah.
But yeah, it seems really weird. It was already played like way less,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I don't really get it. This is just another one of those heads. This is like a pirate warrior nerf, basically. There's really probably not much more to it than that. It's just like the bronze to gold players are cheering and no one else.
Fair.
But yeah, I don't think the meta has really changed.
That's fair. Azalea, anything you want to add about this nerf?
I think somehow it strangely opened up. Like, it strangely opened up kind of more stuff to be brought, because you don't have that automatic I have to bring Hunter, and it still might be something that people consider a must bring, because Arcane Hunter is still strong. It's still strong enough to get a win in Legacy and probably multiple in Hero, depending on matchups. I guess I haven't really seen a ton of change. I thought it was weird. I thought it was interesting that Control Warrior is still kind of been, I guess, okay losing what would technically be its worst matchup in Hound Hunter. But overall, I am still enjoying my experience with Ladder.
Fair.
Which is good. Yeah.
That's fair. Well, those are some nice thoughts. I want to thank our hosts, Super Chicken, Azalea Kari, and Bone Masher, for being in the show tonight. It is always great having all of you. I hope you had as much fun as I had. It was just awesome. And thank you to all our viewers for watching tonight. We do have shows this week. Is there a special interview happening this weekend? Bone Masher.
Yeah, we've got people on the show for Out of Your League this week, but then I'm looking for people. So if you want to be on Out of Your League with another guest, play a bit of trivia, come have a chat with Azalea and Dankus and I, hit us up, send us a DM. Anyone would love to have you on.
Awesome.
Yep.
Also, as well, we do have match shows, so please let us know in the stream match channels. Remember, matches will be rewarded in the 6th episode of Hearthcenter. Just 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a raffle over all players who've played on stream. So you might get a few packs if you're there. We're giving $10 out of Hearthstone packs, so come around. Might be good.
I can love packs.
We'll do that raffle in a few days. So that is it for us tonight. I want to wish you all a good night, and if you have any feedback on the new setup, things that I should do, I should change, please let us know. With that, we will see you all later. Have a good night, everyone.